Hey guys, it's Chris from It's Not the Dog, It's You. The following video is simply my application based on my decades of experience on how I would handle the fear in this particular video. Do not try anything you're gonna see on this video. Feel free to like, comment, and share. I'd love to hear your input on it. And this is basically what we do on Patreon, so we'd love to see you over there too. Safe training and enjoy the video. A lot of people who have a fearful dog are fearful themselves. They want the dog to love them. They don't want to parent the dog in the way the dog needs to be parented. They don't want to see the dog uncomfortable, so they bail the dog out. That makes them feel better, but that's the same fear that makes the dog feel worse. In the short term, the dog feels better and you feel better. But in the long term, you've created a massive problem for this dog, and it's developed an understanding of how to escape pressure when it doesn't want to deal with it. For some reason nowadays, we don't want to teach the lessons that are tough. We want to avoid the tough lessons so that we can get the results while we don't have to lead, and we don't have to be a parent, and we don't have to be responsible. If you're trying to teach a dog to get through stress in a way that makes you feel better, then you're probably going to prolong the stress and make it worse for the dog. The dog is having this fear period because it's going from puppy to adolescent and then to adult. So when it's a puppy, they're brainless. All they care about is milk and beating the shit out of each other and having fun. But then as they start to mature and they're asked to do more in life, they start to go, wait, the world just got really big. There's a hormone change. There's all kinds of things. It's very normal for human teenagers to go through fear periods. Adolescence can be an awkward time. So that brings us to too much freedom, not enough leadership. Okay, and I don't mean obedience. If you give the dog too much freedom to make choices at home, the dog is familiar with things at home. But if some noise or a smell or a sight or a sound that alarms the dog comes into play, they don't know about that, so they get afraid because they don't have the tools or the leadership to understand how to cope with it, that it's no big deal. So if you go, oh my God, my poor baby, you're gonna make it worse. If you feed it, you're probably going to make it worse. The antidote to this is experience. Understanding how to get the dog through it, just like a parent, how to get your kid through it so that knowledge replaces fear. Think about the first time your child has to go to kindergarten. Now, my kid, my oldest child at 6 years old at home, he's like, oh yeah, we're going to school. I'm a genius. We're going to school. We lived in the woods. When he got to the school, he was completely overwhelmed. Now, he thought he really wanted to go to school until he got to school. Well, my wife and I had never had a child before, and we expected the child to want to go to school because he's very brainy and he's just a bookworm. Well, when we got to the school, he dug into my leg, wrapped himself around it. He got the nopes. Nope. How do you think the teachers handled that? Do you think that they let him go home? Do you think that they offered him ice cream sandwiches to come in? Nope. The teacher, the guidance counselor, and the principal all came out, peeled him off the leg like a tick on a dog, and kicking and screaming, they said, we'll see you at 3 o'clock, thank you. And they went into the school. Now, my wife and I got in the car and we're like, we suck. This is Sophie's choice, we just suck. Because we've never dealt with that either. So it was a fear period for us too. On the second day, my child went right into the school, no problem. It was the fear of not understanding how to handle all that life pressure that intimidated him, and we couldn't go sit with him. It was the first time that he was leaving us to go be social in a different situation, and it overwhelmed him. His very natural response is, No. Now that's a fear period. How did they handle it? They handled it correctly. They know knowledge replaces fear. They've seen it a million times, and they know how it's going to end. We didn't. By the third kid, we were like, nah, just get the hell in there. Just go. You'll be fine. But I don't, you're good. Go. Go, 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 go. Get in there. And then, boom, it was over quicker. So the quickest way out is through. Again, I'm going to tell you a first child story. My oldest son was, I don't know, 5 or 6, and we were at Burger King Playland. And there's the ball pit, and there's tubes you can climb up, and there's things you can swing off of. And he, like I said, we lived in the woods. He'd never been exposed to something like this and was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world. So he climbed all the way up to the top. And he's in there, we're just having fun. And now he's got to go down the slide to get out. Spiral slide, tube. He cannot see down there. He's never seen anything like this. So he gets on the slide and he white knuckles it. He starts crying. My wife is like, I'm coming, baby, I'm coming. And I'm like, how many baby skeletons do you see up there? Like, he's got to come down. Let him figure it out. Now, that's the difference between mom and dad. And sometimes it's the difference between dad and mom, right? So if you go bail him out, what does he learn? The bigger lesson is that when I get in trouble, I can't solve a problem. When I get in trouble, someone's going to come and bail me out. It teaches the dog codependency through fear. It's not good. So how did he get down? This fat 8-year-old kid put his foot right in his back and said, go, and pushed him all the way down. He's screaming, ah! He hits the bottom. What do you think he said when he hit the bottom? That was awesome. Let's do it again. That's what you're going to see in this video. This dog is going through the same thing. So now I want to see what she's doing. I want to see how the dog handles with her. What is the dog saying? Is the handler helping the dog, or is the handler trying to get a result? If you put the want to get a result aside and you teach the dog the life lesson, the moment the dog has the aha moment, the result is going to happen, and I'll prove it to you. So this is the first video. Check it out. Oh my God, you need directions. How do you think, girl? Okay, did you catch that? Look at the dog's body language. This is why I constantly say movement is dialogue. Look at the dog trying to slide to the right. Now she tries to go wide. She's feeling the pressure of the pool. The owner is trying to do obedience and bring her back to heel. She turns the corner and accelerates away from the pool. As the dog's accelerating, it's accelerating towards the door where it came in. They remember. So you've got to watch the handler who's trying to do obedience, and you watch the dog who's trying to communicate that it's afraid. Try to get her in there without picking her up. Move. Good job. Try to get her in there.
Collar might come off.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. That's good. All right. Listen to the noises in this auditorium. They're doing some construction in there, and you can hear the drill, you can hear the fans, and you can see the pool. You can see all these things that are happening, and this dog is just, what is going on? Just taking the dog out in the world and giving it food and trying to, in air quotes here, sorry, socialize the dog isn't going to help the dog. You have to be able to read the dog. You have to be able to understand the way out. It's why experience matters. So the biggest part of a fear period, and this is why you want to really be clear with the dog, it starts at home. If you're giving the dog too much freedom and not enough guidance and leadership, the dog is more likely to stay in this fear period and use it as a strategy to say, if I don't want to do something, I'm running. And then when flight is gone, the only other option is fight. So later on, as the dog gets older and flight starts to not work, they're going to pick up the opposite side of that coin, which is fight. And that can be as mild as showing your teeth or complete aggression to make the human back off, so then it can use flight to get out of the situation. People are going to medicate that. People are going to muzzle that. People are going to try to use obedience with e-collars and prongs and methods to try to solve those behavior problems that were rooted in poor leadership, poor understanding, and poor dogsmanship to begin with. Okay, so choreography is your friend. Choreography is your friend. Okay, so in this next clip, I'm going to take the leash, and I was working with Dylan at the time, and we're going to choreograph and let the dog struggle a little bit so that the dog goes, oh my God, I get it, that aha moment. Now the dog learns to trust you. It seems counterintuitive, but it's not. The dog will trust you as a leader when you teach it the way out. And the only way to get that experience is through the discomfort. That makes people uncomfortable. And that's why dogs have it rough now. We've invented purely positive. We're medicating them. We're muzzling them. We're teaching them place, and we're frying them, because we don't realize that the answer is parenting. And the answer is leadership. All these things that make up dogsmanship are being lost. And dogs are the ones that are suffering for it. So the fearful values are, I want to leave, I want to bite, I want to avoid, I want to throw a temper tantrum. You do not want to increase the value of those things, because if you increase the value of those things, you are training those things. You've got to stay balanced. You've got to stay calm. You've got to keep your emotions under control. And it's very hard to do the first time. Trust me. My kid at school and my kid at the playland. I get it. You also don't want to be so nonchalant about it that you're like, okay, Chris had to drag the dog through the pool. That's not what I said. Pay attention to the details.
Okay, it's going.
So I want you to do is just have her follow you to the pool. Just go. She'll go. She'll follow you. She knows you have food. She's a food whore. See how she's pulling on that leash? Now she stopped because she realized it wasn't you. So you come with. Watch, when you go past the dog, watch. Go, 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 go. Watch. Dog starts going forward again. Do you see? Okay. So just stay right there, Dylan. That's all avoidance behavior. So now show the food. Don't feed it. Drop one into the pool on the edge. There you go. Now I want to show you something. Drop another one in there. So watch. As the dog goes forward, I'm going to pull back a little bit. Just a bit. Go ahead and put your hand right down there, Dylan, to get her to pull forward. Watch. Don't beg. Now the dog's insecure, looking for help. No help's coming. So the dog is looking. So what this means is you do a lot for this dog. The dog needs to learn to do for herself. So I'm pulling backwards. Do you see it? When she pulls forward towards it, just open your hand. So watch. She's like, what the hell are we doing here? So she's checking. Watch. Watch. She's pulling. She's pulling. She's pulling. She's pulling to Dylan. Open. Yep. That's it. Put your hand over a little more. Yep. Yep. She's pulling. Do you see? So I'm using opposition reflex to get the dog to go forward. Okay. So now step into the pool, Dylan. She's going to run away, but don't worry about it. And now don't bring your hand out over that pool. She's got to come in to get it. Move your hand in a little bit, Dylan. Right there. She's got to come in. Move her hand in. She can't go in. So I'm gonna frustrate her. So now she's just, see the loose leash? What she's saying is, you get it for me. You get it for me. But I'm putting enough pressure to just get the dog. Every time the dog goes forward, I'm gonna put a little pressure back. But you have to be patient. You have to be super patient. See, check with a human. I need help. I need help. No begging. Dog's got great food drive, so we're going to build that. So see, I'm sliding to get behind the dog. So the dog is trying to make a decision. There's a conflict between fear and food. So watch, I'm going to check with mom again. You can look right at the dog. Doesn't make a bit of difference. So I'm putting a little pressure. See how she's trying to communicate. Do you see it? She's like, I need you to go get that food. No, you don't. You go get that food yourself. Do you see?
Yep.
Can't have it. All the noises going on. So watch. She's going to try to slide and go that way and go around. She's going to try to find any way to get in there except for the way that is most direct. So hold your hand out again, because she's lost her food drive now. Now pull it back in. Pull. Yep. So I want to pull back. It's just so subtle, right? There's an attempt. See how the object is really what's freaking her out?
Yep.
So she has to overcome that fear.
Yep.
But she has to do it herself, because if you picked her up, she'd be like, no, Mom, no. And we don't want that, right? So is the food worth the fear? So if you do things for her with food, like sit and down and stay, there's no fear involved.
Yeah.
So she said food is reinforcing no fear. What I want her to do is pull so that she wants to go in there.
Yep.
And then she'll go, this isn't so scary. But the first rep is a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Shoot from that side. Any pressure too. So did you remember when you pulled towards the watch? So watch the dog. If I pull towards, what does she do? Right. So she pulls away.
Yeah.
Right? Dylan, make kissy noise, go crazy.
Puppy.
Wow. Get behind the dog and show up. So she's all risk assessment. Right, they're working.
Puppies.
Okay. So you see that every time I give a choice, the dog says it's not worth the food. There we go. So watch. It's worth the fear. So watch. We'll pull back now. Work it out. Work it out.
Puppies.
See, she's thinking about it. Now, do you see the body change?
Yep.
She's thinking about it. Work harder.
Puppies. Here.
What's that? What is that?
Trying to make a decision. She's like, oh shit, there's a guy right there. Did you see how she just lost her mom? Or it's a her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take away all choice. I'm going to go right here, right up to the edge. Work, Dylan.
Here, puppies.
Look at that.
Handsy.
Not so bad, but we can't run away. Okay? Work, Dylan.
Here.
Yes.
Gotta give that dog a minute.
Yes.
In inertia now. Put your hand up. So see the dog's in avoidance right now? Watch.
Yeah. Good job.
Yes.
Yes. Good job.
Girl. That's not the option.
Yes. Good job.
So what's happening is going that way is no fun. And
Oh, yes.
yeah, you did that. You did it. Get those back feet in there. See what Dylan's trying to do? Yeah. Yeah. So as I pet, I'm pulling away.
Yes.
You see what I'm doing? Everything's opposition reflex here. Gotta back her in. Yep, yep. Because it makes her feel like she's got to go forward. Oh, look at that one. Back way up. There you go. Under your crotch. Yes. Yes.
Push out. You want to get it?
Work.
You want to get it? Hey, push out. Oh, yes. You want to get it?
But did you die?
Yes.
But did you die? So now use a little leash.
Yes. Yes. You want to get it? Go on.
Get it.
Yes.
Get it.
Yeah.
Get
Yes.
it. You gotta work hard now.
Puppies.
What is that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. You want to get it? Oh, yes. Oh, you got to get it. Come on. Yes. You want to get it? Yes. Oh, come on, get it. What is that?
You hold this. And don't let her back up. Yeah. And now, Dylan, walk out the other side. Walk out that way. Just go. Okay, so that's one rep, right? So is it scary? Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. But did you die?
No.
You didn't die. Okay. Yeah. Hey, bring the dog here so she doesn't go away. You can shut that off. Okay, so you understand that it's getting better. It's getting better. All this happened in about the span of 25 minutes. It's not like the dog was going through it for days and days and days. And that's another thing that's cruel. If you have something as simple as this with a dog in a fear period and you prolong it, not only are you training it, not only are you reinforcing it, but you're being cruel because you don't have to put the dog through that kind of prolonged stress. In fact, if you give a little stress inoculation, you inoculate the dog for stress all across the board. But that's really hard for people to understand because they lose their patience, they're not paying attention, or they want a result. Remember, movement is dialogue at both ends of the leash. What you do matters. Once you get to the other side, it creates trust, clarity, and respect. And the dog starts to trust your judgment more and more through each scary situation where the dog goes, look, Chief, I don't know what to do here. What do you got for me? Now you're working as a team. So when we think fear period, a huge part of that fear period is the inputs from the human. So we're either going to avoid it, stay in it and make it chaos, or solve it, work through it. So the dog goes, I didn't know I didn't have to be afraid. In fact, this is quite fun. Now, what you're going to see is that this lady starts to yell obedience at the dog. It's her version of yelling. And she's using big hand signals. And the dog starts to go, listen, I just got here. So if you could cool out with that. She wants to move on and ask too much too soon. Check it out. Texas for 7 days.
Yep.
Freya, come.
Say it again.
Let's.
To the ground in the pool.
Let's.
Wait.
Let's. Freya, let's.
Stand up straight. Say it.
Freya, let's.
Just stand up straight and say it.
Let's.
Okay, so we're going to do one more rep and she's just going to go in there and
I mean, dude, how hard she's hitting that pool.
If you're just looking at a technique here, you're not reading the dog. And if you're not reading the dog, you're not reading yourself. You're not reading the situation. And those are all, they're either going to be helpful things to you or limiting factors to you. And check out how I end on peak. Now, I talk about this a lot at my workshops, at my seminars, and on Patreon. End on peak. When you end on a high note, the dog says, I want to do that again. If you burn the dog out or you push too far, you're just going to go back to the dog going into avoidance from you, and now you have a whole different problem. Always leave them wanting more. That's what you got to do. So check this out, and this is peak. This is where we end it.
Freya, come.
Say sit.
Sit.
Yes. Put the dog away. Go put the dog in the car. Take the dog out of the car. No, don't pray. Don't shit. Just go. Just go. No, we're actually spelled out. Put her in the car. Okay, so pretty good, right? Go look back at how this started. Look at the movement on the dog. Now go and look at the dog going, I get it. I get it. I can trust people. I can conquer the environment. I can do things that mentally stimulate me the right way, and I'm not afraid. And when you get the dog to that point, now you're becoming a dog trainer. And all dog trainers are supposed to be behaviorists at both ends of the leash. Try to get her in there without picking her up. Move, move. Good job. Try to get her in there.
Collar might come off.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's good. All right.
Freya, come.
Say sit.
Sit.
Yes. Put the dog away. Go put the dog in the car. Take the dog out of the car. No, don't pray. Don't shit. Just go. Just go. No, we're actually spelled out. Put her in the car. If you enjoyed the content, thank you, and I appreciate it. Comment below, give us a like, give us a, what do they call it, a join or a follow on the face page. Do that. If you want more, then check out our Patreon platform. Come to a seminar, come to a workshop. When you join Patreon, you get a couple of perks. You get discounts to our seminars and our workshops. You get access to hundreds of videos, and you get a reduced price access to one-on-one calls with me and working through your problems with the dog. It's support, and it's called Talk Dogs with Chris. Original, isn't it? But it's very helpful if you are looking for the answers. If you need the help, we're here for you. I'm not like everybody else, I promise you. So again, thank you for the support. We'll see you on Patreon, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks.